Will the virtuous Sangha out of compassion for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tận tình, vì thứ pháp hội cập nhật tiếp chúng sanh, tình chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo hạ môn, như há liễu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đắc lạc, tốc chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Namo Saranto Suchedo Ye Ola Hudi San Miao San Puto Xie. Namo Takatha Tuya Dadya Alaha De Damyo Nambo Da Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one true and actual principles. Wu sheng 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 wei miao fa bai jian wan jian na zao yu wo jin tian wen de shou chi yuan jie ru lai zhang shi. O Buddhists and Bodhisattvas, Venerable Huineng, Venerable ShénHuì, Venerable Lafong people, and all good knowing advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、六祖师父、上人、各位出家人、各位善知識，阿彌陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa lục tổ ở Tượng Kiên Hoa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Today is the 27th of December 2020. Thank you for joining us at this 6th Patriarch Sutra lecture. We've been discussing the chapter 8, it's about sudden and gradual enlightenment. This is an illustration of how the Venerable 6th Patriarch used for enlightenment teaching. So it's a real delightful to be able to look at it again. And I looked at this a few years ago when preparing for the lecture, but now a few years later, it's even more fun to look at it. You pick up a few more things from his this sudden teaching technique, this sudden teaching technology. Okay, I think we should be proud of ourselves that that we have a chance to get together and contribute our little limited understanding of this superior Chinese sudden enlightenment teaching. We owe it to the Chinese. Okay, in particular, Master Huineng, who authored this. Context is there's a monk called by the name of Chāng, who was an assassin and was converted by Master Huineng. And he was so impressed, he said, of all the accomplishment I've had, this is nothing compared. It's nothing compared to what Master Huineng has to offer. So he decided to give up everything and got the gold from Master Huineng. Make sure you get the gold from the Master Huineng first, and then shave the head. And he ran away and survived for many years, for a long time. And then he came back as per the instruction of Master Huineng. Master Huineng says, you better go away because my disciples, quite a few of them are uncontrollable. And I'm afraid if you stick around and they catch you, harm will come to you. There's not much I can do with these people. These people have harming intentions, but they still need more time to resolve those. Okay, so, but you are an obstruction to their cultivation, and therefore you should run away, because either you die or you live. You stay here, you die, my disciples will fall, and fall off, and then you leave. It's much better off for everyone. So Chāng ran away and survived all these years only on the hope, the aspiration to be able to eventually come back and receive the teaching from Master Huineng. Okay, so he made a resolve. He says, I want to come back and practice with the great monk. He made the resolve. That's what he used to drive him all those years. Okay, so he came back, and Master Huineng says, I've been waiting for all this time. What took you so long? And then after all the amenities, Chāng asked Master Huineng, I've been studying the sutra because that's all I have. I studied this Parinirvana Sutra, and I have these questions about permanence and impermanence. I don't know what it means. So Master Huineng gave him the answer and totally surprised him. Okay, it's just the opposite of what the books say. Okay, last night during the Avatamsaka Sutra, I alluded to you that there's a perfect teaching where it is it cannot be perfect unless it has both right and wrong in it. My teacher didn't teach that to his disciples. Okay, that's why I call them Hinayana Mahayana, because you only know one side of it. So this is you witnessing this perfect teaching here, which is also at the highest level of the certain teaching is that as well. So anyway, it's not something that it's amazing that Master Huineng is also using that as the certain teaching is also included in the perfect teaching as well. All right, so Master HsuanHua made this last part is commentary. He says, Master HsuanHua says on the slide 181, he says, basically the Buddha nature is neither permanent or impermanent. That is the ultimate principle of middle way. Then why did the 6th Patriarch say that it was impermanent? Why did he say that the mind which discriminates good and evil was permanent? He did it to cure Xíng of his attachments. So this goes to prove to you, my master taught his disciples already in this simple commentary. but unfortunately it fell on deaf ears. I hope it doesn't happen here tonight. Okay? If you think you know that the Buddha nature is permanent, okay, that's an attachment. You think you know Mahayana, it's an attachment. So in particular, this Chāng here has devoted many years of his life investigating a Parinirvana Sutra, and it really bothered him. He couldn't understand this concept of permanence and impermanence because based on the books, based on the scriptures. Okay, so yes, at the low level, you refer to the scriptures. At the highest level, the scriptures also need to be gone, need to be thrown out as well. So I don't want you, after I die, to say I followed Master HsuanHua and studied from him, and therefore everything he says is what I follow. It's not the case. It's the same thing here. I'm teaching you nothing except I'm giving you experience to let go of your attachments. All right? Only idiots who claim they know what I mean, or the idiots would proclaim that what I say is inviolable. Is that inviolable? What is the word for that? Cannot be contradicted. That's nonsense. No such a thing. I'm only talking to you. I'm teaching you. That's it. The next person, just like Master Huineng here, he might say the exact opposite. That's part of the perfect teaching. Is there a question? No? Okay, and this is the superiority of Mahayana that I'm referring to. Any questions, comments? Next, 182, Sutra Text. In this way, you misinterpret the last subtle, complete, and wonderful words of the Buddha. Even if you read it 1,000 times, what benefit could you derive from it?
而错解佛之圆妙，最后威严，纵览千遍，有何所益？
You see, the Patriarch says here, you have been investigating this thoroughly for a long time. That includes you, scholars. That includes you, Hinayana, Mahayana people. Your understanding level is only such, okay? And yet, you misinterpret. Doesn't matter how long you investigate. Doesn't matter how long you researched it. Doesn't matter what references you cite. You say it's your teacher who said so. Master HsuanHua said so. Yes, he said so for you, idiots. That's why you misinterpret, okay? You still don't understand. You misinterpret the last subtle, complete, and wonderful words of the Buddha. Lastly refers to the fact that the Buddha taught the Parinirvana Sutra before he died. Just before he died, he taught this sutra. Okay? So those were his last teachings. That's what's last. Subtle. Subtle here refers to the fact that it has many subtleties that requires high-level wisdom to be able to comprehend. It's not meant for the low-level people. It sounds very simple, yet it's very subtle. Complete, meaning that this teaching here is complete. It's not one-sided as you idiots think that you know it. The moment you think you know, you're wrong already. You erred already. And wonderful words of the Buddha. Wonderful because it is very wishy-washy. It's so wonderful that it could be so ugly, could be so nasty, could be so evil. Okay? Only losers would think the Mahaparinirvana or Lotus Sutra are only wonderful teaching. No, it's very ugly teaching. It's very evil teaching. Just checking, give me a minute. Sometimes I have to push the envelope and see how far I can get away with you and not get in trouble. All right? Commentary 183. Yeah. In this way, misinterpret the last subtle, complete, wonderful words of the sutra. Even if you read it 1,000 times, what benefit could you derive from it? Just because you read it 1,000 times, you read it over and over and over again, because that's all you scholars can get. Okay? Every time you read, you only reinforce your own stupid attachments. Thinking you're so special, you're so superior. What's wrong with you? Did your teacher teach you to believe you're superior? I'm teaching my disciples to believe they're stupid, they're inferior. They don't know anything yet. So you think you're so special. You can read it 1,000 times. You think you're superior. You get no benefits from it. You only get one-sided benefits, only tiny benefits. That goes for all of you as well. You stupid. You're so stupid. There's no other way to describe you. You're so stupid. Don't think you understand. Don't think you know. There's so much you don't understand. And the reason you kept around is because you need more time, like wine. You need more time for you to age gracefully and beautifully. Okay? Love you. Okay? So one side, I hate you, I think you're stupid. On the other side, I think you have potential to be wonderful, to be superior. Just don't make the mistakes of those people who think they're better than anyone else. We're not better than anyone else. We learn from everyone else around us. Those lower than us can teach us as well as those who are better than us. So thinking you're better than someone else is total stupidity. Are you listening? I'm sure that none of you had that problem, right? None of you think you're so much better than the guy next door, the person next to you. Raise your hand, those who think like that. Now take a survey. See what I mean? Not only are you stupid, you're also arrogant. you're also liars. I ask you, I know you all are like that, and no one raised their hands. Huh? Caught you right away. Okay, I think we lost quite a few people already, so let's back off. I take it back. Forgive me, excuse me. Just make a donation, we're friends again. 184, Sutra Text. Chāng suddenly achieved the great enlightenment and spoke this verse.
行昌忽然大悟，说偈曰
The guy became enlightened just like that. No 禅气. It's so unfair. Huh? Don't you wish you were there and go to see Master HsuanHua? Master HsuanHua, can I ask you a question, please? And become enlightened just like that? Wow, it's not the way it looks. There's a lot more going on, okay? If it's that simple, okay, then you would have been enlightened already yourself. So he became enlightened as typical of the Chinese. What do they do? What did he do? He spoke a verse. (186) Sutra Text. To those who hold impermanence in mind, the Buddha speaks of the permanent nature. The knowing experience is like picking up pebbles from a spring pond.
应守无常心，佛说有常性，不知方便者，由春池实力。
To those who hold impermanence in mind, those who believe in impermanence, like Yi, knowledgeable people in the know, we know life is impermanent. Everything is impermanent, okay? Especially your life is coming to an end. Your body is more sick. You're losing your eyesight. Your hearing is getting worse, like mine. Okay? That's impermanent. It has a way of reminding you every day. COVID is right there, just outside of the temple, waiting to harm you. Okay? So impermanence is everywhere, okay? For those, the Buddha says, there's hope for you. There's something called permanent. There's a permanent thing that's you own already. Your permanent Buddha nature. Not knowing experience is like picking up pebbles from a spring pond. He says, if you learn Buddhism, okay, you should not be too attached to the words, okay? Because Buddhist teachings are basically expedience. It's nothing absolute about Buddhist teachings. Like last night I said, everything is okay. Everything is Buddhism. Evil is Buddha. Buddha is evil. Afflictions is Bodhi. Bodhi is afflictions. Catholic is Catholic. Buddhist is better. I swear by it. So everything is expedient, everything is skill and means to provoke you. See if you jump up and down or not. See if you had a big head or not, thinking you're so better than everyone else, thinking you're so right. That's why you're wrong. When you think you're so right, you're so wrong. So you're not knowing these expedients, you keep on memorizing, you keep on researching these things, you keep on sticking to your guns and saying, I know, this is what the Buddha said, this is what Master HsuanHua said, this is Master YongHua said. See, I inserted my name in the same sentence. Cool. It's an expedient. It's like picking up pebbles from a spring pond. It's an analogy to picking up a pebble from a spring pond is a useless activity, I think. I don't know. It's Chinese, too Chinese. I have no idea why the Chinese use this analogy. Chinese people, please help us out. You guys go to spring pond to pick up pebbles? It's a Chinese form of entertainment? Or the Japanese go to the pond and pick up the red maple leaves in the fall? I don't know. We Vietnamese don't do that. We simply get together and drink beer and eat and munch on frog legs. (188) Sutra Text. But now, without effort, the Buddha nature manifests. The Master did not transmit it, and I did not obtain a thing.
我今不施功，佛性而现前，非师相授予，我亦无所得。
Okay. Commentary 189. But now, without an effort, the Buddha nature manifests. Okay. He's referring to now without an effort, meaning there is no action on his part. It's no trying, no doing. And suddenly he experienced enlightenment. This is the wisdom, or what we worldly language is the genius of Master Huineng. He saw that time was ripe. It's ripe for picking. So he taught Xíng Chāng that way. Okay, so Xíng Chāng became enlightened without having to do anything. That's what he's saying. How come that if I want to be a millionaire, I have to work so hard day and night, make sacrifices and so forth until I become a millionaire? How come I want to get married, I have to chase after the girl day and night, sing in her balcony like Juliet and Romeo and Juliet, and all those successes, okay, are so small, are so insignificant compared to the great enlightenment. And yet this great enlightenment here, I attain it, okay, from doing nothing. That's what happens when you experience great enlightenment. That's the tip Chāng is giving you. It's a secret that people aren't supposed to know. You try so hard, you will not experience enlightenment. You have to do nothing. Like Master Lingyo says, remember a couple nights ago? He says, the monks and nuns, the cultivators in my school, you guys think we're doing nothing. Actually, we are cultivating the unconditioned. Okay? That's how we become enlightened. He didn't say that specifically, but this is explained here in this verse. By teaching us to practice the unconditioned, like he trained his disciples. That's how they will become enlightened. Isn't that incredible? You notice that? See how the two coalesce, they merge together? Now you understand why Master Lingyo, Master Weishan says, we do nothing. We're practicing non-doing, nothing. Because the proof is that this guy, Chāng, realized that he became enlightened without having to do anything. No charity work. No Chāng. I hesitated before I wanted to say that because... but unless you're Chāng, then you have to do Chāng. How's that? Then Buddha nature manifests. Okay, your Buddha nature cannot manifest unless you stop trying so hard. Jewel Mountain question.
Yeah, Jewel Mountain asks, people keep coming and asking for help. How can you do nothing while you respond to their asking for help?
How can you do nothing when you respond to the help? Very simple. How do you do? Good question. Mr. Catholic.
Maybe according to the Buddhists, do nothing.
Make what?
According to the Buddhists, do nothing.
Do nothing? How can you help when you do nothing and yet you help? Why, this is so advanced Buddhism. Huh?
By meditating.
By meditating. Meditating is doing something.
But you said yesterday it was like not doing nothing because you are trapped into thoughts.
But if you do something, then you're doing something already. Okay, who else? So that's why we don't do charity work. It's not Buddhist. We do nothing. Except vote people out. I didn't do anything, by the way. I only told you to do it so that I don't have to do anything. Got the tip? Okay? How do you do nothing? People, you, smart, intelligent, know-it-all people, how do you do nothing? How do you help people without doing anything? YouTube has the answer.
Yeah. Jesus says, by helping without attaching to having helped.
By helping and not being attached to helping. So what he's saying is that, okay, someone asks us for help. Let me see if I understand the Spanish way of thinking. Someone asks us to help, so we help, yes? And then we're not attached to helping them. Meaning that someone asks us, this person has COVID, and please help. So we help, and then if he dies of COVID, who cares? Because we're not attached to helping it, right? I mean, he dies or doesn't die, who cares? Is that what he means? White.
I thought he said not attached to the idea that I'm helping. Is that? Yeah.
Not attached to the idea he's helping.
Where you talked about the bodhisattvas the other day, like not having the thought that they're helping.
You really don't care you're helping. You don't care about the act of helping. You're not really attached to the act of helping. How can you possibly improve? How can you really, really help? You say, oh, I tried, but he croaked. It's not my fault. I did try. Please don't blame me. I tried. I really tried. It's just like Sang-wook when she translates English into Korean for me. She says, I don't understand his English, nor do I know the Korean. But I tried. Let's leave it at that. Huh? Is that okay? How can you really not care? If you really want to help, you really want to translate, you say, well, this is bad I got, this is all I got, so be it. I'm not attached. But I am. Wait a minute, don't forget I am very attached to it. Those people are very attached to it. The people asking us for help are very attached to our help. How can we say we shouldn't be attached to it? There's a contradiction somewhere. What? Why?
So Master, the question was from Venerable Xianan about how do we help without doing anything?
Without doing anything?
Yeah. So I think it's similar to the concept you were explaining before about that we don't cultivate. It's just a way of life. It's something that's natural that we do. So when somebody comes to us, it's our natural way of responding is to accommodate their needs, to help them resolve their problem.
Okay. That sounds reasonable. Okay, how can we help and not do anything? My first reaction is that refer that person to the next temple. I used to do that. When I first started teaching, people came to me and said, hey, I'm sick. Hey, I have these problems. I have cancer. So can you help? So what did I do? I said, yeah, in Buddhism there's something called medicine master Dharma where you can get help from the Buddhist practitioners. I tell you what, go to the DRBA. get some medicine master, Buddha help from there. That's how I used to help. Except that they came back and they said, they didn't help me. Yeah. Then I said, I help you, but I'm not attached to helping you, so go away. Can I do that? Huh? And that's why we have our own medicine master thing as well. So you have no choice. Okay? To say that you help and yet you're not attached to helping, is something lacking there. It's something missing there. Right? Okay? Those are words. Those words somehow sound hollow to me. How can you help and yet not attached to it? Can you really help and yet not attached to helping? Anyone, please, tell me. At work, you help your customer. Can you really not attach to helping? I know of some people who says, let's say, they go to work and they say, I don't care. I just want to earn my salary. I want to do the minimum that's required of me. I do the least I can get away with. I get paid. And there's nothing they can do to me. I'm a federal employee. And they're going to have to go through 19 years of firing processes if I make a mistake. Okay? You still need that long for them to fire me. Okay? So I'm safe for life. I'm going to milk the cow until that federal thing dies. So that when my son grows up and needs to send, use a federal agency, won't be my problem. Can you really help and not care? I don't get it. How is it possible? And you can tell I'm very passionate about it. Can we help and not care? Can we help and not be attached to helping? You are not attached to helping. How can you really, are you really helping? How can you take money from your client? How taking money from your employer and not care? What kind of person are you? Serious. What kind of person are you when you take a donation from someone? You say, I don't care. Just give me the money. Give me more and I care more. What kind of person are you? You're not a human being. People like that are not human beings. I call my master evil because I know he wants to treat me so badly. Because he cares. That's why I can afford to call him evil. If he didn't care, I said, you are nothing. Right? You're empty. He cares so much I have to call him evil. You understand? So how can you help? I don't know. I never know how to do it. So theories to me, you guys keep on talking as if I help and yet I don't care. If you don't care, then you have no heart. You don't care. What's the matter with not caring? if you help and you're not attached to helping. What is that called? There's mosquitoes here. It kills me. Demonic mosquitoes. Huh? How can you help and not be attached to helping? If you're like that, what is it called? White.
It's called cold-hearted.
Cold-hearted. It's called Russian. I mean, I need to find a new scapegoat. I can blame all the ills of the world on. Yes, White.
Master, we were talking about the help and not your attachment to it. I believe the human beings come to get help from anywhere or temple in this universe or anywhere. I believe it's their egos to come and get help, not himself or herself come to get help. That's why we have this Chāng Qi and 4 Qis to think about how are we going to do this Chāng Qi to get over by your attachment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. YouTube has the answer.
Yeah, Jesus says, if the person heals and we don't feel we are better for having helped.
This person must be made of wood or stone. You help save someone's life, and you don't feel anything about it. You see, it's so intellectual for me. You know, he says, no, it doesn't matter. I helped you, but it doesn't matter. I yell at you, it doesn't matter. When I yell at you, I'm very angry. You better believe it. Otherwise, I'm faking it, am I not? If I beat you, it's because I enjoy it. Otherwise, why bother? We help because we want to, because it's important to us. How can you say we help, we're not attached to it? Please. It's something that's missing here. So how do you help? What if YouTube has another answer? Yes.
Vicki says, can you help and care but not take credit?
Can you help and care and not take credit? That's what I do. I suppose you can do that. Yeah. Yes, Daniel.
Well, I cannot disclose a little bit. I work in a Skid Row area, and we work with people that are homeless and people that are housed, that are low income. And for me, when someone asks me for help, I feel like I'm obligated to, not because of the money or because he's a client, but because as a human being, I need to help. So my question will be that I don't know if it's even possible to not be attached to helping the person. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's what I feel. Like, I cannot be, like, if someone asks me for help, even if he's not my client, I feel like I'm obligated to help that person. At least get him resources to know where to go, where he can help himself too. So,
you're doing the same thing as I do. I say, go over there, get help.
But sometimes they do come back to me. So
They come back too? You see, we always have the same problem.
So when they come back to me, I'm like, okay, I need to figure something else. So
Yeah.
and sometimes it's maybe it's like going to the internet, helping some paperwork, whatever. But I feel like I don't know if it's an attachment, but I feel like I must help.
Yes.
So, I don't
feel
know.
the same way.
So I don't know is that being I don't know if it's possible not to be attached and help people, or you have to be attached to help people. I don't know that part.
Yeah. So be attached. Comment. Yes, you too.
Yeah, Emily says, how can one help without caring? If one doesn't care, one
Who
won't
said what?
help.
Who said
Emily.
what? Huh?
Emily.
Emily, yes.
Yeah, she says
Okay.
that. Yeah, how can one help without caring? If one doesn't care, one won't help.
Absolutely. I agree with her. Absolutely. You don't care, you have said, go away. We're closed. Please come back. It's COVID-19 restrictions. Exceeded the limits. Sorry. Yes, Pink.
I don't know if it's the ego, but there's something when you are legitimately able to help someone that you can have joy in knowing that the other person's happy because of it. There's a joy from it.
Yeah, absolutely. When we help people. And then people, and we see the results. It makes us happy. It's very important to us. Yes? I remember Bill Gates, who is probably one of the most nasty person you know professionally, as in his prior life, as working, running his company. He has that reputation. I built, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and all those people. They're very, very nasty. Okay, and so just take a look at him. You can tell he's very nasty as a person. But his friend teacher, Warren Buffett. Yeah. It's a name I'm trying to forget. Turned him to philanthropy. And said it's a new challenge for Bill Gates. Making money is no longer challenging. Making money, getting richer, has severe limitations. But philanthropy is when Bill Gates decided that's where the potential is limitless. So that's why he's still sticking to it. You have to know that Bill Gates is no dummy. He's doing it because it's very rewarding for him, more so than making money, right? I mean, those guys go for challenges. They go for rewards. They're not stupid. You cannot call them stupid. They're not stupid like you. Okay? They're very smart. So I remember, so it surprised me that this guy would turn to philanthropy and stick with it, okay? Actually, he's getting richer and richer because now Warren Buffett is giving his fortune. Maybe Bill is smarter than I thought, than Warren thought. Anyway, that's a possibility. So anyway, I remember seeing a clip of him going to India, and he gave some things doing charity work. He gave something to an Indian kid, skinny Indian kid, short hair, with eyes. You know how Indian people are, okay? Big eyes. You can see the white, but very small brown. Of you call pupil, huh? The pupil is brown, okay? And so big white. You look at it, the eyes, it's mostly white, and there's a small, brown spot there. So when he personally gave that gift, whatever the gift, toy, whatever, it's not even a toy, to that youngster, a teenager, and the kid came and received it. the kid's face lit up. It meant so much to that kid. He was so happy. You know? It's so genuine that the kid got something from someone for nothing expected in return. That's giving. Bill Gates understood that. He gave out of kindness. Okay? And the kid is so happy. He's just lit up and have this big smile from ear to ear. And the camera turned back to Bill's face. It is so beautiful. Okay? And Bill Gates became as soft as unlike the typical SOB he is. That impressed me. That kid have a way of reaching to Bill's heart, the goodness part of Bill's heart. Okay? How can you tell me that you want to help and you don't care? It's not possible. You agree? You help and you really don't care and you're attached to helping? I don't think you're helping. That's baloney. Jesus, I disagree with you respectfully. How can you not be attached? If I help, I need to see that my help means something, right? And that the person no longer needs my help. That's why I'm helping. That person is satisfied, at least temporarily. Yes? How can we not care? And why do you care? I asked you the original question. Why do we care naturally? If you don't care, what are you? You cold-hearted, you lack what? Compassion. That's what we Buddhists are about, sir. We hone our compassionate heart. And we're more compassionate because we care more and more and more and more, not less. I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that for me. But I help because I care. I help because I see when people are hurting, people are dying, it bothers me. How can I not care? Yes, Pink.
There seems to be, at least in words, a contradiction between attachment to helping and being selfless or unattached to everything. But if you're helping somebody, you're doing it for someone else, not yourself. So it seems compassion, there's built-in selflessness.
Yes. Very good. So let me explain to you. We spent wasting enough time talking about this because we're going to keep on going in circles. Okay? Very good. Of course you don't know how to help without doing anything, by doing nothing. Okay? Of course you don't. It's a good question from Korea. It's a very good question, but there's no answer. I don't know. Easy answer. Okay? It shows that this person who asked the question cannot help without doing anything. Agree? If that person knew, he would not have asked. Yes? Because this person doesn't know. I can't teach him. So the answer is, I don't know how to teach you. In parenthesis, I don't know how to teach you. Meaning you're too stupid. I can't teach you. Remember stupidity? I rest my case. You think you're so smart. You think you know me. You think you know my Dharma. You think you understand my Dharma. Think again. You are so Thank you. Okay? Yeah. The point here is that, yes, there is a way to help by doing nothing, but you can't be taught yet. You're not at the level where you can be trained to do that yet. So it's a good aspiration. Hold it in your heart. Don't let go, because that's very important for you to have that aspiration that I really want to help first. Do not be like that SOB who works for the federal government, who gets away with, in the U.S., who basically steals from the government. It's so pitiful. Okay? Don't do that. Don't you have any pride in yourself? Okay? It's not fair. Okay? So you should care. I teach my students, especially monks and nuns. I came from very poor. I came from nothing. I struggle for everything I have. When I was making copies of the sutras 20 years ago, I had no books to study from. So I had to go to the library, Chinese library, and borrow those scriptures in Chinese. I had to go to a copier shop, okay? And copy it so that I have something to read. I couldn't come to the library every day, so I had to copy it. And a page costs how much? I don't know how much it costs nowadays. It used to be like 20 cents. Okay? And you're talking about thousands of pages. So I went to this, somehow I landed in this copy shop run by this Catholic Vietnamese. He looked at me and said, "You Buddhist, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, but you don't look Vietnamese. You speak Vietnamese, but you don't wear Vietnamese Buddhist things." I said, "I'm Vietnamese, but I'm actually not Vietnamese." He said, "Oh, but you're religious." I said, "Yes." So he said, "Okay, go ahead and make my copy." So I made copies. I stood there for 6 hours straight. Go in the bathroom, not taking any water, not drinking, not eating, from 9 in the morning when they open until 2, 3 in the afternoon. Okay? Stood there and go very fast. It only took me 1 second to copy 1 page. Boom! And flip it up. So it only took me 3 seconds to copy 2 pages. And I was that fast. Okay? You have to be very efficient. Why was I so efficient? Because the first day, after the first day, he looked at me, he stacked up copy papers, look at me and said, I pray to God, I hope I have enough money. Look at that. He says, "Wow, you copied a lot today." I said, "Yeah, I did." He says, "How much do I owe you?" I asked him. He says, $20. I immediately grabbed it, brought it to my car before he changed his mind. And I drove away, so happy. After so many years in the U.S., finally someone gave me something. Finally somebody gave me something that I didn't ask for, voluntarily. I didn't have to beg, open my hands. I didn't have to hit my handbell to remind people, "You're supposed to give me something." And after the initial excitement, I became so ashamed of my excitement. No, oh, the excitement is real. Finally something, somebody gave me something. It's so exciting. Then next thought was that, as I was driving away, I said, wow, what did I do to deserve this? I was so ashamed. For years, I did nothing but sit on my rear end and meditated. What did I do to earn this? Huh? The guy worked his butt off to feed his family. Huh? Pay his employees. I did nothing. Why would he? What did I do to earn this, to deserve this? And you know what? Next day, I came back. Never mind about guilt or about shame. You see, it's real. It's reality. Because I wouldn't have sutras to research, to read. What I'm trying to tell you is that it's real. Cultivation is real. You don't say that, you don't make excuses and say, I'm a monk, you're supposed to give it to me. He's Catholic, for God's sake. He doesn't have to give it to me. How can you help and not care? Because that, as long as you care, as long as you try your best, it nurtures your heart of compassion. That's so important. You cannot say that it doesn't matter to you, that you're not attached to it. I'm sorry, I disagree with that violently. You should care. It's called compassion. You don't care, you will not become enlightened. So that's good. That person asks that, how can I help without doing nothing, without helping? How do you do that? Ask the abbot. That's what you do for now. Okay? You help by asking for directions. Okay? Asking to confirm to make sure that what you're doing is okay. But please don't fool yourself to thinking you don't care or talk like you don't care. Okay? That you're empty and everything is empty. Then you was stone and wood. Your heart is made of wood, of stone. You should care, okay? And that's part of your training, is to do those things, to follow the instructions until one day you can help. And yet do nothing. It's possible. Otherwise, Master Lingyō would not say so. Okay? Fantastic. We learn about these inconceivable Chāng training from Master Lingyō. So, the person who came up with that material earned tremendous amount of blessings, because this will benefit so many people in the future, as it's benefiting me personally. I never heard of this kind of Yang training, Yang teaching before. So I'm grateful. All right? So he became enlightened without making an effort. I'm going back to slide 189, okay? And what happened is Master HsuanHua, when he explained it to Chāng, he basically scolded Chāng. Okay, because Chāng had this Chāng really believed, because he's been reading the Parinirvana Sutra and a lot of Buddhist sutras, and he really believed that his knowledge was sound based on the holy scriptures, if you will. So Master HsuanHua says, no, you don't understand. This holy scriptures is for low-level people. Okay? But if you want to become enlightened, you have to understand that even the Buddhist scriptures are basically expedients. And that opened Chāng's heart. That's how he became enlightened. Okay? That's how his Buddha nature manifests, as he says. 190. Beautiful? The Master did not transmit it, and I did not obtain a thing. Master HsuanHua really did not teach him anything. Nothing at all. Contrary to what he said years ago when he said, come back, I'll teach you. So now he came back, teach me, huh? You promised, remember? You promised? You teach me? And he said, and then he realized that actually Master HsuanHua, whatever Master HsuanHua said to him, actually didn't teach him anything that he didn't already know. That's why he says, you didn't transmit it to me, I know that already. And because you didn't transmit it to me, what am I doing here? This is all false advertising. I came back here hoping I got something out of you, and I got nothing out of you. And that's what he really obtained. Nothing out of the teacher. It shows this guy understands. That's when you learn, and you'll be taught, you're told to help, and you say, "Oh, I'm helping. Oh, this is cool. This is so cool." And one day, suddenly, boom! I'm not helping. Understand? 191. Sutra Text. The Master said, now you understand. You should be called True Che.
诗曰：汝今彻也，一名智彻。
The breadth understanding here, a commentary, is that translation from the text, English text? We got it from their text, right? Yeah, I have a problem with that. It's not penetrating resolve. No, actually, the Master gave him a Dharma name. He says, your name from now on, the Dharma name I'm giving you, this is so cool. Now it's an illustration that something bothered me for quite a while now. Okay, how come the monks have so many names? I couldn't understand why. If a monk has so many names, more than 2, okay? And now this is why. Because after you leave the home life, your master gave you a name. Okay, my master HsuanHua gave me a name, Go Tớ. Okay, he didn't call me Heng. Okay, but he gave me Go Tớ. Okay, and then I absconded and ran over to the Vietnamese and joined the ranks. So my Vietnamese master called me something else. Okay, he called me Tánh Quang, something like that. I don't know what he called me. Oh, Quảng Đức. Yeah, he called me Quảng Tớ, the same as the burning monk. He's very proud. Say, in the future, you should be as virtuous and as famous as the burning monk. I say, do I have to kill myself? Ooh, can I change my name, please? It's not very auspicious. I'm sorry. Quảng Tớ doesn't turn me on, so I changed it to YongHua. Okay, may he rest in peace. My master's now is in Western Bliss Pew now, so you can look at me and look at, oh, what an idiot. An ungrateful idiot for that matter. So I have 3 names. And then now, so it's not uncommon to have many names. So this is why Master Huineng gave him, a name that says, I'm going to call you, you should be called Chu, Che, okay? And yes, breadth of understanding, no, it's not. It has nothing to do with understanding. I know these clues come from this translation here. Now you understand. It has nothing to understanding. Master Huineng actually was complimenting him, was certifying him more than understanding. He says, I'm going to call you, your resolve has been accomplished thoroughly. Okay? He certified him. So it's not penetrating understanding that's Tuhinayana. Actually, the Chāng meaning here, in my humble opinion, should means the reason you got here, I'm certifying you that how you got here is through a very deep resolve. Okay? You resolve to come back here. Okay? And you resolve to make life, make sense out of your life. And then you came back here, resolved to come back here to receive my teaching. So 2 major resolves. He wanted to become a monk, and then he wanted to come back and learn from Master Huineng. So those 2 resolves were accomplished. He's a worthy monk now. You follow me? It's not understanding. For monks, understanding is BS. Monks don't need to understand. Monks can be stupid. Okay? Monks don't need to understand. They only need to be virtuous. You need to understand. Who cares about understanding? So he would not call him, penetrating, a breadth of understanding. It's nonsense. Okay? What he meant, I believe, is that your resolve, you're a man of resolve. And this is why I'm calling you to remind others in the future. He got here because of his resolve. In spite of all the hardships, all the disappointments, all the dangers, and your resolve was so strong that you made it. And that's why your resolve has been accomplished. Your resolve has been penetrated. You see, true Che is not breadth of understanding whatever these people said. No, the resolve has Che. True is resolve. Che is penetrated. Okay? Thoroughly penetrated. So that's why I say resolve accomplished. Like it better? It's revolutionary. And at least deserve a round of applause. Come on. Thank you. Isn't that cool? This is so much fun. Sutra study can be so much fun. This teacher is incredible. He links the past to the present. He explains to us. Now he says, how this guy got here is through resolve. Why am I so hungry? 193, Sutra Text. Too much excitement. Should lecture and yet not lecturing. Sutra Text. Chu thanked the master, bowed and withdrew.
彻礼谢而退。
So he thanked the master, probably dropped some donations. The rest of the gold he hasn't spent yet. Bowed, okay, very Buddhist thing. Withdrew. He says, I better save my blessings. I don't want to talk to him. Talking to this patriarch is very expensive. Better save it. It is not a social call. So he skipped town again. I think so. Questions or comments? This is so cool. It has to do with the noodle soup we ate today for lunch. That's how I came up with that name, that resolved, accomplished. Huh? Before I said penetrating resolve. No, it's not penetrating. Chö here is you get thoroughly through everything. Nothing can stop it. That's accomplishment. So that's why I dedicate this name here to the bowl of noodle soup I had today. Okay, are we still in the sutra or is this new materials? Oh, this is new materials, right? Background information for the next person. Okay? Dharma Master ShénHuì. How many more do we have of these things? These slides? It seems like they're endless. You know how tiring it is for me to come up with like 2 chös as a result accomplished. It made me hungry. Again for another bowl of soup, noodle soup. $70 more pages? Good Lord. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Master ShénHuì is the 6th Patriarch Hui Neng's late disciple, founder of Heirs lineage, a capable person who established a South School and also one of the famous Dharma heirs to the 6th Patriarch. Should be an S here. Heirs. He has many, many heirs because Master Hui Neng's Dharma is so vast that he cannot possibly, transmit everything to one person. Just like Master HsuanHua, he did not transmit everything to one person. One took his Chāng, one took his bowing, one took his teaching schools, one took his secret school, and so forth. So we can't absorb everything he taught us. No one took his Pure Land. So Master Huineng has taught so many schools, so many things to his disciples. It's fantastic for you to know. That shows you the breadth of the teaching of the 6th Patriarch. It's humongous. That's why he has so many eminent disciples. So that's why, to compare ShénHuà to Master Huineng is like night and day. Seriously. Okay? Last person, lay person was Gao from Hubei, Xiangyang, okay, whatever the area in China is. 196. Since childhood, he followed his teacher to study the 5 classics, the 5 Confucius Sutras. Interestingly, they are book of changes. Okay, Confucius, did write a commentary on the book of changes, Xíng, book of documents, classical poetry, book of rites, spring and autumn annals. So, Zhou Yi, that's what I have a Vietnamese copy of that. Chāng whatever. Okay. God, you have to stop using these simplified things. Okay, too Chinese. We want traditional characters. Okay, I don't want any simplified characters. We Buddhists use traditional characters because the simplified characters are not good for the ancient teachings. For modern day use, no problems. But for us, it's not good enough. Followed up by investigating the school of Lao Tzu and Chuang Tzu, and also have high attainments. Okay? So this guy knows Confucianism, he knows Taoism, and Chuang Tzu is probably a Neo-Taoism. So 197. Later, he read the history of the later Han dynasty, knew there is Buddhism, there was Buddhism. And since then, correct those things. Otherwise, the Americans will laugh at us. Knew there was Buddhism, knew of Buddhism. Since then, admired Buddhism wholeheartedly. And thus went to Chāng, country prosperous, temple within his province, and followed Master HsuanHua and left home life. You see, in 2 slides, you can tell this person is a superior person. He's well-read, he's knowledgeable, he has wisdom, and in particular, he has Mahayana blessings, Buddhist blessings, because when he knew Buddhism, he bought it. That requires blessings. You don't have blessings, the Buddhist teaching will fall on deaf ears. There's nothing we can do about it. Okay? Just the way it is. We have the blessings, you enjoy it. You will accept it. Don't have the blessings, maybe next time. 198. He understood sutra and shastras, but didn't like talking about it. When he was 13 or 14 years old, he was at Jingzhou Yuquan temple studying Chan with Master ShénHuì. So he went to the good schools. He went to a very famous master, Master ShénHuì, who is a descendant from the 6th Patriarch. No, from the 5th Patriarch. So this guy is, this ShénHuì he has a lot of blessings. In 700, because the Empress Zetian ruled heaven, invited ShénHuì to the palace to talk Dharma, to speak Dharma. He advised his disciples to go to Guangdong Shaozhou to study with Huineng. So ShénHuì advised his disciples to go study Hui Neng. Wow, maybe he wanted to get rid of this guy. Yeah. After ShénHuì went to ShénHuì went to Caoxi. He lived there for a few years, was taught highly by Hui Neng. The English needs some corrections. Okay? 199. In order to increase his seeing and hearing, he soon went to the north to visit and study. So this guy is pretty open-minded. He's seeking knowledge. He's seeking wisdom. He first went to, and it's funny that Master Hui Neng would let him go. Okay. First went to Jiangxi Jingyuan Mountain to visit Xíng. Xíng is a disciple of the 6th Patriarch. The 6th Patriarch. He's one of the eminent disciples of Master Hui Neng. And then went to Xíng to receive the precepts. So wow, as a novice, ShénHuì went to study from the great masters already. Interesting. In 707 to 709, ShénHuì went back to Caoxi. Hui Neng knew his Chan study was mature and certified him when he was passing away. Wow. See, that's the background. So ShénHuì was received a lot of exposure to the great teachers and Buddhists as well as non-Buddhists, and that's a kind of open-mindedness that the ancients used to have. Nowadays, if you go from my temple, next temple, you should not come back here. That kind of thing. Okay. So the interesting thing here to me is that he was a novice. He was searching and looking for teachings, and he went from ShénHuì, graduated to Master Hui Neng, and then heard of Xíng, which is a very eminent disciple of Master Hui Neng. Went there to study as well, and then he realized that Xíng is not the same level of Master Hui Neng. That's why Master Hui Neng immediately certified him when he came back. Okay? And then died. Isn't it fascinating? There used to be such outstanding individuals back then in China. There's no substitute for drawing near the great teachers. And he drew near virtually all of the famous ones, the great ones back then. He drew near them. Interesting person. Commentary. In 720, the emperor assigned him to live in Nanyang, Xíng temple. At the time, he was already famous. The official Nanyang, Bi Wang, and poet Wei Wang all asked him the Dharma, all asked him to speak Dharma. Okay, are we making these changes? Okay, for future reference? Otherwise, the Canadians will laugh at us as this is Vietnamese English. All right, are we ready for the real teaching? From the Sutra. 201, Sutra Text. A young boy, 13 years old, named ShénHuì, who was from a Gao family in Xiangyang, came from Yuquan to pay homage.
有一童子名神会，襄阳高氏子，年13，自玉泉来参礼。
Commentary 202 from Master HsuanHua. He says, ShénHuì was an exceptional child, precocious and brilliant. He forgot his body for the sake of the Dharma. He could tell at a glance that Shengxiu didn't have the genuine Buddha Dharma. He set out for the 6th Patriarch's place, 1,800 miles away. Okay, not distant, away. Next, 203. His shoes fell apart, and the rocks and slivers of glass on the road cut into his feet. But he continued to walk, tearing up his robe to bandage his bleeding feet and acting as if there was no pain at all. Why is there an apostrophe? Okay, take it out. When the great master saw him, he knew he had undergone much suffering. Yeah, you can tell. The guy is, can barely walk. The clothing is all tattered. Probably very skinny and very dark, like has been working in the rice field of Vietnam for all these years. 204, Sutra Text. Great background information, huh? Master HsuanHua is so cool. The Master said, the knowing one's journey must have been difficult. Do you bring the original with you? If you have the original, you should know the owner. Try to explain that to me.
师曰：知识远来艰辛，还将得本来否？若有本，则何事主？试说看。
Remember, the one thing that I like so far with ShénHuì is that as a kid, he came. He's seeking knowledge. He's seeking learning. And yet he came, unlike the Americans, unlike people of our modern times. He didn't come and say, teach me. I'm here to learn from you. Although it's his intention to learn from the great master. That's why he traveled 1,800 miles. But he came to pay homage. What does it mean? It's very Chinese. It's a good Chinese tradition. And you Westerners, we Westerners need to learn from this. It's not false modesty. The uninitiated, the unlearned would say, oh, that you Chinese are so phony. Of course, everyone knows you travel so long distance to go there, so you have to learn, right? To seek knowledge, to seek a degree. No. So the Chinese are taught to be modest, come there and say, teach me. How much do I have to pay? Teach me. I'll call my parents. They mortgage the house. I'll call YongHua. Ask her to support me. Hint, hint. She's helping a monk somewhere in Vietnam. I don't even know. I don't get it. At least I want to have a photo, driver's license, Anyway, some people are weird. said, anyways, this guy came and he says, I'm here to pay homage to you. That's so Chinese. I'm paying homage like the Three Musketeers. I forgot how to do it. Right? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. No. Okay? So it is so cool. It is so proper. It's not, because yes, originally the Chinese taught their people, the youngsters, that's an act of humility, the mindset of humility. But actually, what's behind that, when you do that to a great teacher like Master HsuanHua, it basically says, this is not about false modesty. It's not about, because I'm told to do so. Okay? I like it because it's consistent with our Chan school spirit. We're not stingy. We want to help. We want to teach you desperately. Doesn't it show? It's not so obvious. The Chan school is that, yes, we want to teach you. Only at the right time. Only one is right. Not before, not after. At that very moment only. So I summarize in a phrase that offends a lot of people off. It says, you taught when you deserve it. Don't think you're so special, you're so talented, you're so rich, you're so smart, you're so educated, you're so accomplished that we need to teach you. Remember? When you come, what are you? Hint? And this is not okay? Okay? So that's why the kid has blessings. Because if he didn't do this, he didn't say, I came here to pay homage to you, okay? Then the master would say, yeah, okay, go to the back and pound on the rice for 8 months, like I did. Okay? Because no one ever taught me. I had no manners. So go back, pound the rice. This guy is that's why he's so fast. Oh, I had commentaries in 205. You've been on a tough journey. You see? Compassion. Who says a Chan master has no compassion? He's so compassionate. Look and say, did you eat? Are you tired? Are you thirsty? You come such a long way. But it shows that he recognized ShénHuì as someone with potential, so he didn't want to waste his time. So he says, do you bring the original with you? And if you have the original, you should also know the owner. What do I mean by that? See? How brutal. As soon as you must have had a very tough journey. See how dangerous he is. You must have a tough journey. And the guy said, yes, oh God, you don't know how often I was hungry. I nearly died of cold, of thirst. and mosquitoes. Okay? But as soon as he said that, it's a trick. You must have had a hard journey. But do you bring the original? I love this. This is so cool. So cruel. Okay? 206. Sutra Text. ShénHuì said, I take non-dwelling as the original and seeing as the owner.
慧曰：以无住为本，见即是主。
Commentary. ShénHuì replied, immediately. Okay? The guy is a real smart aleck. The kid is real smart aleck. He says, I take non-dwelling as original that you talked about, and seeing as the owner. Okay? So it says non-dwelling as my original nature, and seeing as the owner, the host. Okay? BSing, basically. Don't try to understand this idiot. He's just regurgitating the Chāng analects and all those books like the young Chinese nowadays. Did full Master Hui know? Let's find out. Sutra Text. Master said, this Shramanera imitates the talk of others.
师曰：这沙弥真何取次语？
Very brutal. As soon as the guy says, I'll take so and so and so, the patriarch gave him the judgment. Okay? This guy is a, what do you call that on Amazon? From China? They sell those fakes. You guys don't shop on Amazon at all? You're not helping the economy. What's the matter with you? So, he's a fake. He's an imitator. What do you call that? Those products? Huh? Counterfeit. Huh? He's a counterfeit. From China. Sutra Text 210. After this, we have no more. All the internet listeners drop out and say, you keep insulting us. We don't have to put up with this. ShénHuì then asked, when you sit in Chāng, High Master, do you see or not?
慧乃问曰：和尚坐禅，还见不见？
Commentary on 211. This guy has a lot of gold. He immediately went to verbal sparring. Okay, so he asked, when you sit in meditation, do you see or not? Again, he's quoting the Chāng books, Chāng annals. That's what this guy does. He's very well read. Okay, and he's probably practiced was part of the debate team in high school. The master, 212 Sutra Text, the master hit him 3 times with his staff and said, when I hit you, does it hurt or not?
师以柱杖打3下，云：吾打汝是痛不痛？
Okay. No trick. I show you tomorrow what I have in mind. From Korea. Long, long, big bamboo thing. Okay? Remind me. Next weekend. Huh? Tomorrow would be anticlimactic. Remind me, okay? I bring that. Staff. 213. So he hit ShénHuì with his staff. And shouted? No, he didn't shout. He says, does it hurt? Remember, he's a kid. Why would you shout at a kid? Who said shouted? Whose commentary is this? I disagree. He basically very softly, does it hurt, huh, son? Because it's child abuse. You don't want to add, offenses on top of offenses. You're only, brutalizing a kid. You don't want to add yelling at a kid on top of it. Verbal abuse. Physical abuse is enough. 214, Sutra Text. He replied, it both hurts and does not hurt.
对曰亦痛亦不痛。
Sound like it helps. I help and yet I don't help. So 215 commentary. The kid says it hurts, both hurts and does not hurt. So the kid loves it. Okay. I think he's used to giving a hard time to all the prior teachers. And that's why he keeps doing the same thing to every single teacher to impress them. They're also impressed by him. Huh? Isn't that cool? This kid is something else. 216, Sutra Text. The Master said, I both see and do not see.
诗曰：吾亦见亦不见。
So commentary in 217. The Master says, I do see and yet I don't see. Okay? Yeah. I don't see and yet I don't. I do see and yet I don't. Okay? Okay, so it's very playful. Okay? It's just a naughty boy. So it's, I do see and yet I don't. All right? So yet, have to add the yet is for emphasis. 218, Sutra Text. We're going to go through this 70 slides very fast. At this rate, we're going to be done tonight. ShénHuì asked, how can you both see and not see?
神会问：如何是亦见亦不见？
Don't you love it? This guy would graduate top class in his Harvard or Stanford. He took the initiative immediately. See that? Because what is the dictum in sales school? Oh, none of you are salesmen? Oh, the salesman in Korea. He who asks the question is in control. Sales school technique. Hey, sale Shamanarika. Did you learn that in sales school or not? She who asks the question is in control. So ShénHuì is very playful. He says, really? So he's taking over the questioning. Okay? Yeah. Very nimble mind. On his feet. He can think on his feet. Very impressive. 220. Sutra Text. The Master said, what I see is the transgression and error of my own mind. I do not see the right, wrong, good or bad of other people.
诗云：吾之所见，常见自心过谦，不见他人是非好恶。
221. So the Master his reply would be interpreted as playful to the kid, but actually he's teaching the kid. Okay? You've been reading all these books on all these concepts, these word games, but the books did not teach you. No books teach you. No books ever teach you how to see. Okay? I'm going to teach you how to see. I see only the transgression and errors of my mind. Okay? That's what I see. And that is called wisdom. When you see your own transgressions and your own faults, that's wisdom. If you see others' faults and proclaim them, you're sick, you're stupid. Okay? I don't care who you are. Remember that. This is a corollary to Master HsuanHua's teaching. YouTube has a question.
Yeah, Alta-D asks, how can this master possibly have any transgression and error in his mind? Is it just a teaching method?
Why do you ask me? I'm not him. He's only telling us that when he sees the transgression and error of his own mind, whatever they are. But what he means is that we, Chāng practitioners, look inside to our mind and look at the errors and transgressions of our minds. That's what he means. Whether this patriarch still has transgressions, errors in his state of mind, I have no idea. But this is meant to teach us. As a Chāng practitioner, you should be looking at your own transgressions, not others, let alone talk about others' transgressions. Okay? That's not Chāng. That's sickness. I don't see the right, wrong, good, or bad of other people because I have wisdom. Those who keep on seeing and talking about right, wrong, good, and bad of other people, they have no wisdom whatsoever. Then there should be a question, why did Master keep on talking about other monks are right and wrong? Because I have no wisdom. Okay? Is that clear? It's obvious. But for Master HsuanHua, he says, if you want to learn authentic Chāng, okay, you should not try to look for the right and wrong, good and bad of other people. Who cares if they're right and wrong, good or bad? None of your business. 222, Sutra Text. This is my seeing and not seeing. How can you say it both hurts and does not hurt? If it does not hurt, you are like a piece of wood or a stone.
是以意见亦不见，汝言亦痛亦不痛如何？汝若不痛，同其木石。
So you see, the Master, on a commentary, the Master says, I just explained to you how Chāng practitioners, how I teach my disciples. Here, about seeing and not seeing. Okay? I answered your question. Now let me ask you, how can you say that it both hurts and does not hurt? Explain that to me. Because to me, if you don't hurt, then you have no feelings. You're but a piece of wood or stone. 224, Sutra Text. But if it does hurt, you're just like common person and will give rise to hatred. Your seeing and not seeing are two extremes, and your hurting and not hurting are production and extinction.
若痛，则同凡夫，既起悔恨，汝向前见不见是两边，痛不痛是生灭。
Okay, this is so typical in Buddhism. Smart Alex, they read the scriptures like ShénHuì, a lot of them. They interpret them with what? Their stupid mind. And that's why they think they understand. They think they know. Get it? So that's why the young ShénHuì, and that's a mistake, he symbolizes, he represents all of you bookworms. You can read as much as you want, okay? And you think you know, you think you can make the connection, you can synthesize your readings, but it's not wisdom. That's confusion, because you really don't understand at all, okay? When you synthesize a teaching from one sutra to the next sutra, or one sastra or next sastra, one teaching from Master HsuanHua to a teaching from another sagely person, you make mistakes. You cannot make the synthesis like worldly knowledge. Because each instruction is for that person only, at that time only. It's not meant, it doesn't apply to you. So these people keep on reading all these scriptures and quoting these scriptures and these sages, and they miss the point completely. That's why they're so stupid. And they call themselves Buddhist scholars, they call themselves Buddhist monks, Buddhist disciples, and they are slandering the sages' teachings. Evil. Demonic. Okay? And you Buddhist disciples, you have to recognize that stupidity, that demonic behavior. Doesn't matter who they are. Doesn't matter who they came from. Such behavior is not true Buddhist. Okay? So that's what the Master says. Your seeing and not seeing are two extremes. Let me tell you what you read, okay, in the books, okay, are just worldly thinking extremes. The have and the have not, the black and the white. That's all it is. Okay? The plus and the minuses, plus infinity, minus infinity. That's it. You're hurting. So seeing, that's comprehension. That's just two extremes. Either you don't or you understand. That's nonsense. You're hurting or not hurting are production and extinction. So what he's doing here is relating the scriptures, the teachings, to his personal experience. See, ShénHuì's personal experience. Books cannot do that. Only a good advisor can do that. Is that clear? This is excellent teaching. Very compassionate teaching. Shall we keep going? Time is up. Okay, can I finish 2 more slides? This one and next, and then we're done. May I? Yeah. 226 Sutra Text. You have not even seen your own nature, and yet you dare to ridicule others.
汝自信且不见，敢而弄人。
What he's talking about is that you are not enlightened. You haven't accomplished the Dharma door, okay? And yet you go around and act like a smart aleck. And you make fun of others with your erudition, with your book knowledge. That's not Chāng. Okay? Is it consistent what he said? He says, we Chāng practitioners, we look at ourselves until we see our own nature. We don't look outside and look at other people's faults and comment on them, ridicule them, and judge them. That's not Buddhist. That's stupidity. I don't care who you are. You're a lay person, you're a monk. If you have such behavior, it's stupidity. Shame on you. Huh? You're no different from an idiot scholar who reads books and then thinks they understand Buddhist teachings. And yet you dare to ridicule others. So he reprimanded the kid after beating him up. By then he probably has, a contusion here, 3 times, 3 contusions on top of the head. So he knows that when the patriarch says, I will not beat you further. Sutra Text on 228. ShénHuì bowed, apologized, and thanked the master.
神会礼拜悔谢。
Okay, so ShénHuì is very good. He bowed. Bowed shows that he appreciates the teaching. He recognizes that it's true teaching. Apologize. You make a mistake, you apologize. You don't apologize. You see, this guy has so many blessings. He's so smart. No one could teach him. You know that. Everyone is scared of him. Because you tell him something, he says, no. The book says differently. Master so-and-so says differently. Master HsuanHua says so-and-so. I approve. See, that's why no one dare touch him. Too fast, too smart. But this guy here, recognize wrong, recognize true teaching, recognize a wise teacher, and thank him. Okay. Let me see what's next. Okay. I don't want to show you. Can I save for next time? Next time we do 2:30. Thank you, everyone. 감사합니다. Good night.